Heather.
Hey, Steven.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
You know what we should do.
Ooh, say it.
We should get into it. That's Heather.
That's Steven.
Let's get into Irrational Fears.
Boo!
And boy, do we have some interesting ones to talk about today.
I'm excited to hear yours because I know what your main one is, but I feel like I don't know what your other little ones are.
I have a feeling that you know that a lot of mine are.
Okay.
Because
I'm excited.
You know, it's kind of looped in also with anxiety.
Okay. That makes sense.
So,
yeah. Good times. We have...
Before we get started, though,
yes.
we have to catch you guys up on some things.
We sure do.
We went on a journey.
We did.
We took the Oregon Trail down to Tampa for Heather's birthday. Part of my liver is still there in that very religious Airbnb.
I literally feel like I'm still recovering. Like, because you know how... you could be in the most comfortable Airbnb, the most comfortable hotel, wherever, and it's still not sleeping. You're not sleeping in your own bed, so it's not the same level of sleep.
Okay, well, think about me, who doesn't sleep at all. You know, that's why I had to drug myself early every night. Like, I would go to bed. I'm like, it's 11. I'm going to bed.
Bye.
And they'd be like, why? I'm like, because if I don't do it now, it's not going to either happen or it's just, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow with the pill. Like, it's all very strategic. So,
yes.
Heather.
Yes.
Why don't we talk about, your favorite thing that we did while in Tampa?
Oh, man, there's a lot. I had a really good time in Tampa. So last year for my birthday, we all got together at District Dive, Southern Nights. And I remember thinking to myself, this is the last time I want to do a birthday like this because it was too much. So many people came out. It was lovely. So many people I love, but it was like too much. I was like going to this person and this person. I was just bouncing between people. And I was like,
it's hard to be popular.
Shut up. But I was like, I want something where I could like actually spend time with my friends and drink and just be stupid. So we rented this house in Brandon, which is like right outside of Tampa. And so when I rented the house on Airbnb, I did see in the notes, they're like, this house has religious artwork. If you're not down with Jesus, get out. So I was like,
that's
whatever.
Very Christian-like.
Yeah, but the price was really good. And I was like, I can sacrifice that for the price. But the religious art in this house was fucking wild. It was hilarious. Like there were puzzles of like Jesus with firefighters.
Okay, the word art.
Yes.
Is very
puzzles
loose.
are not art. Puzzles are
they
not
were puzzles
art.
that were glued together, and they weren't even straight in the frames. They were all fucking crooked. Every single one of them tilted one way or the other.
Yes, and then they were like, no music outside, which ended up working out for us because I forgot my speaker.
That and our pool day was rained out.
And our pool day got rained out, so we watched Wicked instead, which was fun. But I would say my favorite was literally Mons Venus. So it has been my life stream to go to Mons Venus in Tampa. It's a full nude strip club. I've talked about it literally my whole adult life, how I want to go.
A female
strip club, because I don't enjoy male strip clubs because they're corny
Wiggle.
They're corny. And so we went to Mons Venus and I've never had a bad experience in a strip club. Maybe it's my energy or my aura and who I bring with me.
I think
but
that's
I've
it.
never had like a bad time ever. I always have fun. This was so much fun. The girls were all delightful. They played a song that we wanted to hear. Steven got his nails done.
Literally.
And so
Marley. No, hold on. We got to tell that story. You
Lana.
just can't. No, Lana didn't do it.
Marley did it?
Marley did it.
Oh, I thought it was Lana. Lana was hanging out with us though.
Marley, they were all hanging out with us.
They all were. They all
like I had legit conversations like, I forget. I talked about true crime. I think we talked about John Benet Ramsey with one.
Yes.
But I don't even know how. Okay, so here's the most embarrassing part of what happened is that I went to go tip Marley. She's the one that had the wheelies on.
Oh,
so she was just gliding around the stage.
Oh, the blonde girl. Yeah.
And so I go to tip her, and then she aggressively smushes her tatas together, and I audibly said, jump scare. And later when I apologized, it's like, I didn't mean it like that. I hope you didn't take it offense. She's like, oh, honey, it's okay. We get autistic people in here all the time.
Oh, God.
And
That's
then,
right. I remember you said, you were like, they think I'm autistic.
Thank you. I guess. Well, who knows? I might be. More and more as I grow older, I'm like, I was misdiagnosed as a child.
Yeah.
But then later on, she sat down next to me for 30 minutes, completely nude. and put on a full set of her press-on nails on my hands.
They look beautiful. I'll have to put it on the wall art. Q, what's going on, friend?
He wants to get down.
You want to get down?
But I don't want him to get down because he's going to get in trouble. Go.
All right, have fun. So Mons Venus was great. We had to get, so because it's a full nude club, they don't serve alcohol, but they sell you cups. So our server at the club was like, we bought cups from her, and then we were like, all right, cool, where do we get booze from? And because we did not drive, we drove, we couldn't put shit in the car, but we were like, we're being responsible adults. So she told us there's a place called like Ricky Tikki Tavi. It was something with an R. Rittingers. John Ritter. It was something with an RIT. And she's like, yeah, it's just across the street. And we're like, all right, cool, we can do that, bitch.
With our little red Solo cups, we went on a little adventure.
So she said across the street like it was you just crossing a street. No, this was like crossing I-4. It was like 4 lanes of traffic on each side. It was like 8 lanes.
It's full on Frogger. She tried to get us killed.
It was Dale Mabry, so it was busy.
And there wasn't like a walking section anywhere
there wasn't
nearby.
A crosswalk. Nope. So luckily, we opted for a very high-end bar that just so happened to be down the street, 7-Eleven. So we bought like the boxed wine, all sorts of shit. So we did that, but it was just really fun. And what's funny is that the next day, Jason was like, I wanted to stay longer.
Of course you did, Jason.
But no, that was fun. Brunch, we went to brunch the next day. That was like a fever dream because I started off hot at brunch. Like I walked in and I'm friends with the guy who was DJing and he introduced me to a bunch of people. And so I went outside to go say hi to the bartender. Teacup. Oh my God, Teacup, love you. And ended up with 2 lemon drop shots, some strong ass drinks. So I was already fucking lit before brunch started.
And we use the term brunch loosely because they don't serve food.
Oh yeah, there was no food. We had to go get pizza.
You could bring stuff in. So Lindsay bought a pizza and set it on the table. And that one slice of pizza
I know,
held me through the rest of that day and night.
Oh my God. And my husband, we had to send him home in an Uber because he got too lit. And it was total, I told him last night, I was like, we've had quite a year because that was me in St. Augustine in December. And now that was him. So it's like, that's how marriage works. One of us gets fucked up, the other takes care.
A little bit of give and take.
It really is. And we went to the Hard Rock Casino, which I was telling also Jason yesterday that I do not remember the Uber ride. I remember you breaking the glass in the restaurant.
Okay.
And then I remember being at the casino. I do not remember the Uber ride from Ybor to the casino. Like I remember kind of coming to once we walked in the casino because of the vibes and the energy. But that Uber ride, like if you told me that man took us to like Fort Lauderdale and back, I would have been like, okay.
No, I remember getting there, but I do also remember going to the restroom at one point. And coming back, my dumbass didn't bother to check my phone. Like, let me call them. Let me see where they are. I just went on with life and just aimlessly walked around this casino. I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to be here a while.
So we went to the casino. I lost money. Big whoop. Yeah, and then the next day we were supposed to do like an all-day pool day, and of course it rained all day, so we watched Unsolved Mysteries, we watched the Tom Green show, and then 2 of our friends, Lindsay and Chris, had not seen Wicked, so we watched Wicked with them.
Gave them a movication.
Yes. Yeah, and that was pretty much. And I forgot what, Dinosaur World?
Yes.
So we went to Dinosaur World on Saturday, which was my actual birthday. We went first to the Keel and Curly Winery. And had wine, had food, saw somebody drop a big thing of popcorn into the goat pen.
Oh, no, that's you just say it like that. No, hold on. Okay, so here's what actually happened.
Yes.
So it was like, there was like a farmer's market that happened outside in the back, and they had those ridiculously large size of popcorn that you would get at a carnival.
Yes.
And we're looking at this guy who seems about 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, yeah, he was
And he's leaning over and he's dropping a few pieces, and then it's just like his body let go of everything, and it plopped. And then he just looked down and he just held it for a second and he looked at us and just goes,
and I was crying laughing. I was laughing so hard.
Those goats were living their best life.
They sure fucking were. So then after we went to Keel and Curly, got nice and toasty. At least I did because Jason drove. And then we ended up at the majestic landmark known as Dinosaur World in good old Plant City. And I'd been to Dinosaur World once, years before I met Jason. So this had been like 15 years ago was the last time I went. And only thing I remember is that dig. I don't remember anything else. So it was like a new park all over again for me. And y'all, if you live anywhere in the vicinity of Central Florida, even like anywhere in Florida, go to Dinosaur World one time.
Oh, it is so worth it. It was everything I expected and wanted it to be. I mean, we climbed inside of eggs and took pictures. I rode a velociraptor that was definitely meant for like children 3 to 5. And like, it wasn't even moving because my fat ass was on there. He was like, oh, God. The train moved at a snail's pace.
Oh my God, the train.
Even though we didn't get on it, we didn't do that.
I was like, if I sit on this train, it's gonna drive me insane.
Well,
like,
I
it's
think
gonna make me crazy.
one of our asses would fit on each bench. We'd take up 3 cars because this was not any kind of train I'd ever seen before.
No, it's not like the Gatorland Express.
And let me tell you, these dinosaurs, a lot of them had the best, derpiest face.
Oh my God,
that I
derpy.
could ever seen.
Derpy.
And it was just magical. We have great footage of
our adventure
of us trying to mount a mastodon.
that did.
Which my favorite is Jason.
Yep, Jason did
trying it. He got up there.
He got up there. I couldn't do it.
But he was also a non-stretch jeans, so I give him a little bit of a thing for that. But let me tell you, I almost pulled a groin getting on that thing.
No, I knew better. Mama knew better.
Magical.
So that was fun. And then so that was birthday weekend, but aside from birthday weekend, how's your week been, Steven?
Oh, the world is on fire, and I'm just sticking to myself, working and taking a sleeping pill as early as possible. How's your week going?
Same. I mean, I did get promoted at work, so yay.
Bien.
That's cool. Thank you to my company for keeping me around. But otherwise, besides that, just living in the void that is life. And
I also forgot to mention, I also got a new role at an unspecified location as well.
Oh, yes, you did. Oh, and I forgot what else happened that I did. But you asked me how my week was, right? Or did I not?
That was part of your birthday.
Well, I was going to say, I can't talk in depth about it, but I got to experience Orlando's a new theme park adventure.
I think you can say it now because
I went to Epic Universe. I got to go to Epic Universe and ride rides, and it was incredible. I can't talk about it until May 22nd, but it was incredible. Save your money. Go to that park. I'm not just saying this because I love the world of theme parks, but like it's legit. It's unlike
epic.
It's literally epic, but it's unlike anything that I've ever experienced. It's like this hybrid of state-of-the-art attractions with really cool food experiences, and then just general, it is a beautiful park to look at.
Because, if you think about it, the last time a park has been added to Central Florida was Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom, yep.
And I went to that when I was in high school.
I did too. My little carpool buddy at the time, her dad like opened the park and they had an extra ticket, so I got to come with them to like the opening and stuff. I do not remember anything. I remember the opening of Islands of Adventure like it was yesterday because I danced on Me Ship the Olive with a flag. We had a whole choreography.
Oh God!
So I remember that like it was yesterday. I could, Steven Spielberg on the speedboat going by, like that is very still etched into my memory. But Animal Kingdom, I don't really remember except going on Dinosaur. Yes, but no, Epic is a beautiful. They did a great job with the landscaping and they call it landscape architecture. It's stunning. It's a beautiful park. The Helios Hotel that's there it's spectacular. And I can't wait. You get to go soon too.
I get to go Friday. And people are not allowed to say anything other than it was good.
I know. I had to give somebody a nice little pep talk on Facebook because they did a breakdown world by world on Facebook of each and everything. And I was like, no,
they just got promoted to guest.
I know. And they took it down. They said in time, but like, there's no such thing as in time in this world. People take screenshots, and it was a public post, at least like my Facebook. Everything I post is for friends only. I do not post with the globe that's public. I can't do that. And their post was public. So hopefully nobody was like scouring for Epic Universe stuff.
From what I've heard, like even the merch, you're not even allowed to like photograph the merch.
Nope. Unless they sell it at the City Walk store.
I've seen or heard stories of like even managers walking around raising a camera and then being like, "You come with us."
Yeah,
Like,
they're not playing.
terrified.
That's why I'm like, nope. Like when I've been twice now, and I literally just put my phone in my bag.
Yeah.
I'm like,
because you need your phone because all the ordering and stuff. from what
correct.
I'm
So you
told.
need it for the mobile ordering, but like I ain't taking pictures and I'm not texting anybody because I'm writing shit. So I just put it in my bag. But anyway, so let's get to irrational fears, Steven.
Things that we're afraid of that doesn't make sense to most people.
Yes. So like there are some fears that are grounded in something that's happened. So like for instance, you know, people that are scared of water might have had a near drowning experience or knew somebody that drowned, or people who are scared. I know people that are literally scared of driving because they've been in a car accident
That's on
or
my
something
list.
like that. Oh God.
Not for me, but for somebody else.
Oh yeah. So there are grounded fears, and like I have a phobia, which I'm not going to talk about because I don't want it to come into my algorithm. I have one specific phobia, which is my worst phobia, that I've had to get psychiatric treatment for, and I have body reactions to this phobia. It's not like when people say they have arachnophobia and they can look at a spider. I can't even look at my phobia without having a physical skin reaction.
Oh.
So that's, to me, phobias and irrational fears are different, especially if you have a legitimate phobia. So irrational fears are fears, again, that are like ungrounded. There's no reason why we should be scared of this thing.
Well, in our
Yet we
minds,
are. In our minds.
there are, but in other
Yes.
people, they're like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And my answer is, I don't know.
Right? So should we start with the ones, like there's been a couple that both you and I have talked about a lot on this podcast and other podcasts we've been on. So should we start with the glaring obvious? I feel like we should, and then go into the little baby ones.
So anybody who knows me, who's ever known me, knows I'm terrified of fish. Don't laugh at me. I get nervous around aquariums, and I feel like they're looking at me. The fucked up part is I like going to the beach, but I can only go in so far if I can see or if I can't see. And God help if something touches me, I am Jesus walking on water, getting the fuck out of there. There was a time in the Bahamas where we're not even going to go there because it was too traumatic. Let's just say somebody convinced me to go snorkeling, and this dumbass kid brought out a can of Easy Cheese.
No.
And apparently Easy Cheese to those tropical fish
Why
is
would
something
you
like crack.
do that in the ocean? That's so bad.
Because it attracts the fish.
I know, but that's oh my God, people are so
It was like bait, basically.
fucking stupid. Why would oh my God, I hate people so fucking much.
I will just go through mine.
Yeah,
really
go through
quick,
yours,
'cause
go through
it's,
yours.
Again, another one that I hate, and I also kind of have a physical reaction. It's not quite like hives,
Yeah.
but my body gets weak and starts to shake if
Yeah.
I'm anywhere near floor to ceiling windows.
What?
I expect like it can be
What?
like the first floor is fine. The second floor, you will never see me get close because I have this irrational fear that I am going to fall out and I am going to land on top of that window pane down on the ground and die.
Oh my God. One of my favorite delusional hobbies, like we all have delusional hobbies. My favorite delusional hobbies is bookmarking penthouses in New York City, and every single one has floor to ceiling windows.
Absolutely
Like there's
not.
one in particular that like if I was a billionaire, I would have bought it already. It's a $50 million penthouse near Central Park.
Absolutely not.
And it's on the 87th floor.
Nope. You know the buildings sway that high.
Floor to ceiling windows and a terrace. And I'm like, that's my dream. That is my dream. And it looks out on Central Park. So
Okay.
you could see all the concerts.
Imagine you just went out for happy hour and you got a little boozy and you're walking around and you trip on something and then you fall towards that window.
No, because like you can't fall.
Yes, you can.
That is so. I literally did not know that was a fear of yours.
my God.
Oh my God. I love floor to ceiling windows so much.
No, I will start to sweat. It is bad.
Oh my
and
God.
it goes kind of along with another one is
Yes.
that I don't have necessarily a fear of heights. I have a fear of immediate heights.
What does that
So
mean?
I can go on roller coasters.
Yes.
Great. I'm tucked in. I'm launched into that
Yes.
shit. Don't ask me to climb a ladder.
So Jason's the same way. Jason he calls it, he's scared of unsafe heights. So same, if he's in a roller coaster, an airplane, somewhere that is secure, he's fine. But like we did the helicopter at the fair,
Oh,
the
I would
doors were open
never.
and he was so mad. And then same with like anything that is just not safe. he's like, I'm not
You couldn't
doing
pay
this.
me to get into a helicopter.
What?
Oh my God, that one
You
little,
wouldn't do the
that-
Jurassic Park helicopter?
No.
The one that goes near where they filmed and
I
everything?
would no. I don't think I'd be like, can you take my phone and video it? Like
Oh
I don't. I think I'd have a panic attack and pass out.
That's wild. It's funny because I'm terrified of commercial airplanes, but I'm not scared of helicopters, which I have a higher rate of dying in a helicopter.
There is. Ask your Google friend what
Yes.
the name for the piece that's at the top of the helicopter. It's called like a
Roto-rooter?
Good luck or something. It's got like a name.
What is the piece at the top of a helicopter called?
There's.
The hub.
No, there's. I read somewhere once it had like a nickname. It was
see.
like the oh shit or something.
The hub, the landing skids.
There was like a. I'll have to find it out
What's
later.
the nickname for the thing at the top of the helicopter? Now it's going into the thing.
Yeah,
With,
well, anyway.
Fantastic Four.
And then
else
one
again?
more thing.
Yes.
Related to heights.
Oh God, yes.
That I have talked about this with my therapist or my psychiatrist. I every time I drive over a bridge or an overpass, I know in my heart that it's about to collapse and I'm gonna fall.
So you're talking about when you go under an overpass?
No,
Oh, when
over
you
the
drive. Okay.
overpass.
See, I'm the opposite. I get really nervous if I'm in traffic and I have to stop under an overpass because I'm scared it's gonna cave in.
See, we can never go anywhere together.
I know.
I can't go on top. You can't go under bottom.
I know. Oh yeah, I would do the top all day because anytime I go under, I'm like, fuck, it's gonna
Because
collapse. It's gonna
in
collapse. It's gonna collapse.
Louisiana, as many times I've been there growing up,
Yeah.
those bridges are high as fuck to where, and as a kid, I would have to crawl on the floorboard because I was so afraid. Because I was like, okay, so either it's going to collapse or a piece of wind.
Yeah.
Some wind is going to push us over the side. And I just envisioned my head like, okay, so if we hit the water, how much time do you think I'd have to get out of my safety belt?
Oh my God. It's like that's one of my absolute worst fears is crashing my car in the water because I have watched things. So I'm prepared if it ever happens, but I know I would panic and like fuck everything up.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned bridges because this past January, my brother, sister-in-law, Mikey, I think new baby was in the car. Yeah, my mom. So they went to St. Louis. When they were driving to the airport, they were staying in the town my grandma lives in, which is like 20 minutes outside of St. Louis. So they're driving to the airport. It was about to blizzard, snowing heavily, and you have to cross this giant bridge to get from Illinois into Missouri, and you couldn't see anything because it was snowing so hard, and like people were pulling over.
No.
And so like Michelle, my sister-in-law, was saying that like Glenn was the hero because he was like driving. I'm like, I am
White-knuckling
so glad that I was not in that car because I would have had to just close my I would have been.
I'd been like,
panicking.
I'm going to walk across this bridge. I'll
For
meet
real?
you over there.
Yeah, and in growing up, New York City has so like obviously like the Brooklyn Bridge, the Verrazano Bridge, the oh my gosh, what was the big one? Tappan Zee Bridge. So like there are these giant bridges that go over like the water and go into the city. And I remember as a kid being like, yeah, this is fun. But as an adult,
No.
not a fan.
Hard
not
pass.
a fan. Yeah. No.
So what are some? I know one of yours that you don't want to talk about, but it's on my list of
Phobias?
Phobias. It's
No,
on
we're
my
not
list
talking
from-
about it. I don't want to talk about
I'm
it.
not going to specify which one it is, but I'll have to bring it up eventually.
I saw your friend talk about it because we related.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so my top irrational fear is stop motion animation / claymation. I hate it. It's too staticky for me. And even like the Academy Awards this weekend, when they were doing the animated films, out of the 6, 3 were stop motion. And Glenn, I was watching it with my brother, and he was like cracking up, especially like the last one that they showed was awful. And I was like, I can't even look at the TV.
So if I started moving like that,
Like, no,
in real
because
life?
you're doing it on purpose. But like in horror movies, when people like crawl, I can't do it. So claymation, stop
Interesting.
motion,
Not just claymation, but stop motion in general.
stop motion, and yeah. And there's a horror movie that's out called Stop Motion, and it's about that, and I refuse to watch it.
Oh. But it's what I want to do for my birthday.
No, sorry. I'll close my eyes. So yeah, claymation, stop motion. But I will say, I will make an exception for the California Raisins. I do love the California Raisins. It's because they're like, it's a more like free flow claymation. It's not staticky. Like they were very smooth and like they had the
they
music.
had to be. They were the California Raisins.
Yeah. So like the California Raisins I fuck
Heard
with.
it on the grapevine.
Oh my God. Whatever happened to the California Raisins?
I think they died.
Oh, they got eaten. Yeah.
You know, I used to have the little plastic figurine.
Me too. The Christmas special, man. Fire. So anyway, that I have an irrational fear of robots. And when I say robots, I mean like not like R2D2 or BB-8. Like they're adorable.
What about Johnny Five?
Johnny Five I could do because he's or like the robot on Saved by the Bell, Kevin.
Oh God.
Like
you're talking
fine.
about more like Maria.
Yeah, or like Jacques at Toothsome. Can't even look at him.
He's not even a
Can't
real
even look
robot.
at him. But his voice is the
voice
worst.
modulator.
And you know what's fucked up is that my colleagues, if there is a work lunch at Toothsome, will purposely call Jacques to come over, and they think it's so fucking funny. And it's not. And I recently was at an event that Jacques was at, and everyone was like cry laughing because they knew. They're like, Heather, go take a picture. I'm like, I'm not. And he was like, come on, Heather. And I was like, don't talk to me. So robots like that.
He knows my name.
As a kid, I was terrified, absolutely petrified of C-3PO. Terrified.
Wait, is that the garbage can or the tall one?
The tall one, the gold, the gay one. So I was terrified of C-3PO. I was terrified of TikTok in Return to Oz. There's been a couple of other ones.
Okay, in all fairness though,
Yeah.
TikTok and the Return to Oz is legit terrifying.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
Like
All the creatures.
I think part of it is because it was like left to ruins. So it wasn't like a new robot.
Yeah. So, but I also, it's like AI. Have you seen the movie AI?
I have.
Okay. So like AI is half and half for me. So like the human robots like Haley Joel Osment, Jude Law, that's fine. But then when they go to the flesh fair where all the robots are getting killed, there's a couple robots there where I'm like, please murder them. Please.
Oh, that was
Please,
fucked up.
Please murder. I know, it's sad. Okay, so those are my big two irrational fears. Some of my other ones are this is so random. I get paranoid when I'm setting up things like folding tables, anything that can pinch my skin or my fingers freaks me out. And it's because as a kid, I went to the fair and it was one of those like gun shooting games. And every time I hear Surfin' USA by the Beach Boys, I get PTSD because it was playing. And I pulled the trigger or something back and it got caught on the web of my hand and like split it at the top. And it was horrible. It was horrendous. And I'm still traumatized. So anything that could potentially like pinch my fingers. So like, yeah, like not ladders, like the tables, anything that has something that can pinch, it scares me. I also have an irrational fear of cheese graters. Cause
You're gonna slice your hand off, or
well, and it
shred
happened. Well, I don't know why I'm saying it's irrational because this was legit. Where in third grade at Christmas time, we had two kids in the class that were Jewish. So my teacher was like, "Let's include them. We're gonna have a Hanukkah day." So we got to make potato pancakes in class, which was really exciting. But I was grating the potato, and sure enough, got two of my knuckles as I was grating.
that.
So now to this day, if I'm like grating cheese for something, I like hold all the way back and then I'll try to like get a glove. Like it makes me
I want to see you.
it makes my
make
heart race.
taco salad.
I buy pre-shredded cheese, baby. Another irrational fear of mine is every single time I'm on a plane, I think I'm gonna die. Like there has never not been a time where I have been on a flight and I'm like, every single time, and it's always when it's takeoff. Always. Because like you know how the plane has to do I'm always like, here we go. Here we go. This is it.
I white knuckle the seat every time.
Yep. And as soon as turbulence hits, I'm like, here we go.
Oh.
And
we've all
I
seen
start in
Final
my
Destination.
head. And I start in my head thinking, okay, like, should I call my mom now? Should I blah, blah, blah? So like, I wish that I could fly and be relaxed. And even when I'm high, even when I'm drunk, I still am like, this plane's going to go down and this is it.
There's a colonial woman on the wings.
And the news lately has not helped any of that.
Oh, no.
Has not helped
No. I'm not flying anytime
Hell no.
soon.
Nope.
Anytime soon.
Nope. That plane that flipped upside down, that is like my eye.
How does that even happen?
Have you seen the movie Flight with Denzel Washington?
Maybe.
Where the plane turns upside down. They're like, you were drunk. I remember
that
watching
line.
it and I was like, you know what, Heather, you're being irrational. This will never happen. A plane will not turn upside down. And then it fucking did.
I mean, it's hard for little planes to turn upside down.
Like, can you
Like
imagine?
stunt planes.
Imagine being on a fucking plane and the...
Yeah, I can't imagine it. It's called anxiety.
Right. All right. So my last two are I have an irrational fear of assuming that I'm going to live until tomorrow. And by that, I mean that, so like when I leave work at the end of the day, I have like a little daily calendar. I do not flip to the next page before I leave. I take everything home with me. Like I could easily, I'm in the office 3 days a week, home too. So those 3 days in a row, I could easily leave my computer and my notebooks and everything. But then I'm like, I'm tempting fate. Something's going to happen to me. I'm going to like get in a car accident or something's going to happen where I can't come into the office and I'm not going to have my computer. I'm not going to have this. So I pack up everything like I'm leaving. And I never assume, even when I book stuff on my calendar, I'm like, all right, I'm going to book this for March 30th. And then I'm like, what if I'm not alive on March 30th?
I think about that same type of thing every time I like have planned to do something good. A
Yeah,
vacation.
yes,
I'm never going
yes.
to live until that.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I know.
I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah,
But
so,
that is
like,
something I legit think about all the time.
Me too. And so that's why, like, when I leave, I'll see my coworkers, like, we all have our little daily calendars. We got them as gifts. And I'll see them, like, turn to the next page for the next day. And I'm like, nope, because I am assuming that I will walk into this office tomorrow. And what if I don't?
So when I worked in the corporate world,
Yes.
at a different location in the timeshare world, I loved my page-a-day calendar.
Yes.
But I would never tear it like
Before?
previously because it was like my morning, like, let me get a ha-ha first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So I had to.
Well, I'm talking about, like, when you leave for the day.
Yeah, I'm not going to tear off that page for the calendar. No, I'm going to start my day fresh.
Right?
With
Yeah.
the illustrated laughing square.
Yes. And then my last irrational fear, I don't really have it as much anymore, but it was a huge part of my childhood and it was too funny to not talk about it. So when I had to have been like 4th or 5th grade. I don't know if you remember, but like grocery stores used to have like, obviously you have like the tabloids and the magazines, but then they would have the little like baby books of like random things. It was like a crossword puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Bible verses. So
Activity books.
yeah, so I was in the grocery store with my mom and I see this thing called like Ghosts of America. And I was like, I've always been into it. So I was like, Mom, will you buy this for me? She's like, all right, cool. So I'm reading it and I was like, all right, whatever, this is corny. And then it got to Ghost of the White House and it talked about the ghost of Abraham Lincoln, which I fully believe is a true story, that Abraham Lincoln, I don't think he still does, but he did haunt the White House at one point.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Theory on ghost.
Uh-huh.
Why would the ghost haunt something that he wasn't murdered at?
A lot of times spirits are attached to places where they lived because you think about your living space and a lot of your energy is there, and ghosts and spirits a lot of times will return to the place where they exuded the most energy in their human life.
Interesting.
So that's why he's not showing up at like the fucking, KFC in Alabama.
Well, that's why I'm thinking like things like Beetlejuice. You're not allowed to leave the house. There's sandworms out there.
So, I was reading about Abraham Lincoln and it was terrifying. And so I then became scared of the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. And it became a running joke with my brother. It became a running joke with my friends to the point where anytime I had a sleepover, there was always one point where my friends would be like, for school. It was like a whole running thing, like literally through high school.
Heather's a ghost.
Abraham Lincoln's ghost.
Don't you have an Abraham Lincoln tattoo?
I do have an Abraham Lincoln tattoo that I wish I didn't have because he's not as great as we all thought he was.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
We live and learn.
Yes. Anyway,
We
so,
listen and we don't judge.
no, I do.
Well, we do judge.
So yeah.
Shall we get to some of the people's? Okay, close your ears.
Oh God, why do we have to talk about this? It's not irrational. It's real.
Just gonna say it.
Ugh.
Close your ears.
No, I'm gonna. Whatever. I'm gonna go on Facebook and ignore it.
I don't even know if I could say it right.
Yep,
Trypophobia.
that's it.
The fear of holes, honeycombs, things like that. Okay, moving on.
Yes, thank you.
So this one says
Yes.
Bigfoot. And it says, I know he ain't real, but I am terrified of Bigfoot. Not Yetis, though. They're okay. Just Sasquatch. And it's called megalophobia, which is an intense fear of large objects.
Do you see I'm literally itching right now? Okay, so fear of Bigfoot.
Fear of Bigfoot. So Harry and the Hendersons has offended this man some way, somehow.
Yes.
And I didn't put the names of these, so I can't even look back to tease anybody.
I still stand by the theory, and like I'm very much into like cryptozoology, and like I believe in some of these things, but like I still to this day think Bigfoot was a bear walking on its hind legs, and somebody saw it, and they were like either high or drunk, and they were like, "Oh,
why couldn't
shit.
it have been like an animal that was like introduced to some kind of toxic sludge and then gave birth to something that was defective?"
I mean, it could have.
I mean,
but
about the real reason for Bigfoot.
But oh my God, what was that movie y'all made me watch on Champagne? Bigfoot versus
Megalodon? No.
No, it was
versus...
the movie, the guy, Sam Roberts.
It was like Bigfoot versus the Virgin Mary
or the man
or something.
shoots the legend Bigfoot. Anyway, horrible movie. It was so disgusting. Yeah, so Bigfoot.
But yeah, I mean...
Miss Bigfoot.
Her name is Sarah.
What you call me?
Another one which I also don't think is necessarily irrational.
Yes.
Unless, it could be irrational if you lived somewhere in, the center of the United States.
Okay.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Sharks are very real, and they eat people.
I'm not scared of sharks, but I also don't go past my waist in the ocean.
Sharks are fish, and they can swim into even lower water than that.
There was a whole thing in, I think it was 1916. There was a shark that was in New York, in the Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore, New York shark.
Well, yeah. They track
Up
great
north.
whites up there all the time.
It's fucking wild.
Yes.
Wild.
It's a fish. I think I've said this story once upon a time.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up in Mississippi, literally I could walk 2 blocks down and be at the bay. Mm-hmm. And then every time we drove over the bridge to go to Pass Christian, my sister had mentioned more than once, that's where somebody got attacked by a sand shark.
That's right.
And that's when I thought the sand shark literally went into the sand to attack this girl. Speaking of irrational fears, yes, I think sand sharks can navigate
walk
sand.
on the land. Oh my God, I can't. What else you got?
That secret cameras are watching my life 24/7 like the Truman Show, and that's called scopophobia.
That you're being watched all the time?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
like you're being monitored, not just watched, monitored, because you've seen the Truman Show.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So his whole life was being watched by everybody else, and he didn't know it. So
that's interesting.
I mean,
cut.
Did you get that sound take? I would be saying things left and right.
Oh, me too.
Trying to be I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you. We need a PA.
Please. What else you got?
Here another one, which I agree with. Fear of open ocean.
Oh, absolutely.
It says, I can swim and I love the ocean, but I'm fearful of swimming out when it's wide open.
Yep.
Okay, so I told you in the Bahamas, this was not an open ocean.
Yeah.
It was I don't know.
I know what you're talking about.
Like
Yep.
an inlet,
Yes.
if you
Mm-hmm.
will.
Yep.
And this is circa 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
God, it must have been around
1819.
2010-ish, maybe before that.
1785.
But Doug and I went on a cruise. He had broken up with his boyfriend.
Oh.
And since I was the ex before that, he calls me and our birthdays were close together. He's like, let's go. And I said, sure. Okay. And he said, I want to go snorkeling. And I was like,
You got jokes.
So I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I got on the boat. I drank as much rum punch as I could.
Oh, yeah.
And then I eased myself into the water and I looked down and I'm like, okay, the fish are 30 feet below in the coral reef. I'm like, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
That's kind of
They're not going to come up.
pretty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. So then at one point, I'm looking into it. I have my little underwater camera and I put my head above water and I realized that I'm on the complete opposite side of this boat.
Oh, shit.
Everybody is at the front. I'm at the back. So I start panic swimming to go over there, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm constantly looking behind me. And one time when I did look behind me, a school of angelfish swam through me. I'm talking hit in the face, hit in the body, moved.
Oh, what a nightmare.
So all you hear from my snorkel is... So I find Doug in a crowd of people, and I'm like, I've got to get the fuck out, Doug. He's like, hey, calm down. I want you to look down. I want you to see something. Like, no, Doug, I can't do this anymore. This is all fucked up. And he's like, just look down really quick. And that's when that asshole kid put the easy cheese, and all those fish that I thought were 30 feet below were instantly in my face again. So then again, cue that little muffled noise of screaming. I'm like, I'm getting back on this goddamn boat.
Oh my God. The first and only time I've been to Key West was for a bachelorette party. And so the Bachelorette was like, I booked us this boat, everybody chip in. And there were other people on it too. And we each paid like $50-$60. And they take you out for literally like 90 minutes. This is how far out it is. So you go out for 90 minutes. They're playing music, but you're not allowed to drink because you can't drink and snorkel, whatever. So, you know.
In Key West.
Right. And so we were vibing. We were having a great time. So as we're going the whole 90 minutes, I'm having this internal struggle, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get in the water. So I'm not a very strong swimmer because I grew up in Connecticut. Swimming in Connecticut, you have to
real
go
reason.
to the YMCA. Why? 'Cause I'm black?
Yep.
No, because my brother can swim.
I know,
My brother is an excellent swimmer. I just have never. Well, that's another rational. Well, I don't know if you call it a fear. I don't like helmets. I don't like things to surround my face. Like as a kid, putting on shirts and toweling was a struggle. Like I just don't like.
You don't like your face obstructed.
That's why I can never be a costume character. I couldn't do it.
So my first roommate outside of the college program here in Florida, she was a black Muslim girl, Aisha, and we would go to the pool together.
Yeah.
And she would never go very far in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, we're going to teach you how to swim. I'm going to teach you how to swim. The girl would have, like, we'd be in 3 feet of water, and she'd have tears in her eyes.
God,
I'm
no.
like, and then she finally tells me one day, she's like, I have this fear because my mom told me that I can drown in a tablespoon of water.
You can drown, like, it's the first half of the movie, or not half of the first part of the movie, Ray Charles, his brother drowns in a little
that's
wash tub.
right.
Yep. But anyway, so we're on this boat. I'm going back and forth, and my gut is like, Heather, it's open water, an hour and a half. It'd be different if it was like, you know, they do the snorkeling on cruises.
I would be looking for a volleyball to named Wilson.
Right? And so, you know, when you're on a cruise and sometimes they'll do the snorkeling, whatever, and it's like right there off the shore. That I can do. But this was complete. I'm talking the fucking middle of the ocean, 90-minute boat ride. So they're like, all right, we're here. So all the girls are like, eh. So they're jumping off, and like one by one, I see them all kind of like this panicked look. 'Cause they're like, oh shit, it's open water. And then a whole thing of stingrays came by.
No.
And I'm on the boat, and like, it's me and like a couple other people that stay behind. I was having the time of my fucking life. I was sunbathing, and the captain came up to me. And this is back when I was like single and skinny and bikini. And he was like, hey, you want some, it was like wine or rum punch. He's like, if you're not getting in the water, you want some rum punch? I was like, fuck yeah. So he's literally just pouring rum punch, and he and I are just shooting the shit, talking.
Meanwhile, all your friends are dead.
I know, right? A kid almost drowned. This family was arguing because they're like, they're not strong, blah, blah, blah. And you hear all this commotion, and like a kid had almost like drowned in the water, and the captain was like, I told them to not do it.
Oh my God.
So I'm very glad that my gut, because I saw my friends who were all super, super, super strong swimmers, like not having a fun time because it was, again, middle of nowhere.
No.
Middle of nowhere.
We know about 1% what's in that water.
Correct. Yeah.
There are dinosaurs down there.
So
I would like to see
granted,
dinosaurs, but not.
So
under there.
Essentially I paid $60 for a boat ride with some free wine, but I had a great time. I had a fantastic time. Anyway, what else you got?
Oh jeez. Okay. I have to go with possession. I'm not religious by any means, but the whole something taking over your body at any minute thing freaks me out so bad. Called daemonophobia.
Demonophobia.
But it's spelled Daemon.
Yes, because that's like the old English way. It's kind of like when you see like pediatrician, sometimes it's spelled like that too. It's like old English.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, right then.
That okay.
See, I don't think I ever. I mean, I watched Days of Our Lives. That was. I didn't believe any of that shit.
Nappy pussy. I actually rewatched The Deliverance the other day, the demon movie with Glenn Close and the black man.
I almost watched it again the other day too.
I rewatched it. I think it was this past Saturday I rewatched it. So, demon movies. So I grew up not watching demon movies, and it wasn't for religious purposes. It was my mom fully believed like demons are real people. I'm telling you, demonic shit is real.
They may or may not be in the White House right now.
Listen, so demons are a real thing, and you have to be really careful and whatnot. And so my mom always thought that by watching like The Exorcist or anything with demonic possession would invite spirits in, because they say the spirit names, the demon names. So like I will never repeat the names of the demons that are in like The
but
Exorcist.
isn't that how you get them back out? Is by I know your name.
Maybe.
Your name is Cletus.
Your name is Toby. And what was I going to say? Yeah. So grew up not watching demon movies. I still to this day have never seen The Exorcist. But like I watched The Deliverance. I love Late Night with the Devil. Have you seen Late Night with the Devil?
I don't think I know that.
I'll have to give you my AMC login. It's a movie about this. It's done kind of like in a third person where it's a guy who's like David Letterman in the 70s and he hosts this late night show.
No,
and
I'm thinking of a different show.
And he's trying to up his ratings, so he invites this girl who's been possessed onto the show, and like all hell breaks loose. It's so good, so good.
Maybe I have seen it.
I don't know. It's a newer movie. It came out last year.
No,
Yeah, it's brand new. I'll have to give you my login because I think you'd like it.
It sounds familiar.
So movies like that, like I'll watch in my house, but like certain things where they're like saying spells, I'm like, I don't want to play with this.
But
like,
when it was Pee-wee's Playhouse, you were mecca lecca high, mecca honey ho all day long and not worried.
But that's valid. Okay. What else we got?
This one is one of my favorites and not my favorite. Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Is terrified of frogs.
That is very valid.
So
very valid.
when I tell you terrified of frogs,
yeah,
falling to the ground, crippling in a ball. There's two different times I can think of. At the old dance studio, somebody had a full frog costume, and I have it on video of him jumping out at her unsuspectingly and her running and falling and collapsing and screaming and yelling. And then there was one time we were at a friend's house and she would not leave out of the front door because she thought frogs were out there because it was late at night.
Yeah.
And so she had to like run out of the garage.
There was one night I'll never forget our condo. I had come back home from Parliament House. I was actually sober because I think I had a show. And I got home and there was a frog on my door handle. And I was like, and Jason was not home. We were living with Grace at the time. Grace was not home. And I was like, well, guess I live out here now. So I literally
live
was
out
like,
with the frogs?
So I was trying to like find something to like get it off. I was trying to I was like, all right, can I get like a tree branch and like shake it? But then I was scared it was going to jump on me. So I literally spent like a half hour just like negotiating. I was like, sir, can you please? Didn't like it.
Oh my God.
I cannot believe I forgot about this. Probably because I try to put it back in my head about one of my irrational fears because when you said fall on the ground, I was like, when was the last time I fell on the ground because of being scared? It was because of a marionette.
Was it at Halloween Horror Nights?
Yep, sure was.
I remember that night.
Dear listeners, I am terrified of marionettes. I can't even, robots, when I see Jacques, it makes me uncomfortable.
To hold me
Marionettes, especially the old school ones, if they're newer, in sync, whatever.
Those were people.
But oh my God, Punch and Judy, the Thunderbirds, those old school. Oh my God, I can't even look. It makes me, hate it. I hate them.
Have you ever seen
much.
the street performers who have a marionette that literally plays the piano?
Yeah, and I run away. No.
That's not.
And I'll never forget. I don't know if you remember, but years, I'm talking 20 years ago, there used to be on 436 near, I think it was in the same plaza Full Sail's in now, but there used to be Pinocchio's Marionette Theater. And and so I remember one time they were having auditions for something like Dreamgirls. It was a big musical and I got asked to audition and I was like, all right. So I saw the name of the theater and I was like, fuck. And I was like, you know what? It can't be that bad. It's a theater. I walk in. Cases of marionettes, and I turned right back around. I did not audition because I was like, I can't do it.
Oh my God.
So marionettes, especially, I recently rewatched Ratchet. Ratchet on Netflix with Sarah Paulson.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the show in one of the episodes of marionettes, and it is. I have to fast forward past it. I hate marionettes. I hate them, and I have no reason to hate them.
Right.
What else?
How about? I won't step out of bed if its clock says 3:15. This is when Demons came out in Demons came out in Amityville Horror. So that's the witching hour. 3:15 is the witching hour.
Okay.
So
I did not know that.
Okay. Sharks in swimming pools.
Yeah.
That I think came from So You Think You're Afraid of the Dark?
Whatever. Are you afraid of the dark?
There was that one.
I have literally never thought about sharks in swimming pools in my entire life.
Never?
Nope.
I've
never.
thought about that.
No. Why would they be in a swimming pool?
Fuck, why would they be anywhere? Hello? I had to dissect a shark once in high school,
We did fetal pigs.
and I did not like it.
No, I know.
This one's interesting.
Yes.
Sunflowers.
What?
Sunflowers.
Okay.
It's called helionophobia.
Uh-huh.
And she says, but it's totally not irrational.
I need to know why.
I have a feeling that it's similar to the one that you don't like to
I-
speak about.
I knew it because there are times I can't look at pictures of sunflowers when they're up close.
So
I had
I'm
a
wondering if it's similar to that.
I just thought about that too. Yeah.
This one says driving 38, no car, no license, and that's. I don't blame you for having I think that's an irrational fear.
Absolutely. Driving is terrifying.
People are assholes. On
Driving is terrifying. And there are times, like especially when it's raining, like I had a gig 2 years ago in Lake Nona. So I was driving out there and I was on the 417 and it poured. I was 40 at the time. I'd never seen rain like that in my entire life. Like you couldn't see anything. So I had to literally pull off this exit. And I was like the whole time just like shaking. And I texted our band leader and I was like, I'm going to be late to this gig because I'm not driving in this. Like it was so like that people stopping in front of you. I also get scared. I always feel like people are going to merge into my lane. So like if I see somebody like start to veer, I panic. I'm like, fuck.
all the time. I think an 18-wheeler is just going to...
Me too.
I don't think that they're not going to see me. I think that they're going to... I'm bigger.
Me
Get
too.
the fuck out of my way.
I know. And I always feel like I have to... If I am on the highway and there's an 18-wheeler, I have to speed in front of it because I'm like, if I'm in the middle of this truck, they're not going to... Of course they can see you, but in my head, I'm like,
but are
no.
they looking?
Correct. Yeah, no, I don't trust that either.
And my last one is my anxiety buddy that used to work with me has since moved to Ohio. And so I no longer have a standing anxiety buddy at work. And she just said, as my anxiety buddy, you should know there are way too many of these for me to list. That's how anxiety works. Miss you, buddy. Love you, Eleni. Miss you, anxiety buddy. So what you got?
I got a lot of good ones. I actually got 76 comments, but we're going to whittle them down.
I was about to say, because we're at 50.
Yeah, and a lot of the same as the ones you said. So somebody said, my friend Brian, he said, mine is morbid. I don't want to be buried in a cemetery for fear of waking up, but I also don't want to be cremated for fear of waking up during that too. So I'm possibly going to donate my body to science.
So you can wake up behind the wheel of a car they're about to crash?
I know, or wake up in bodies. The exhibit. Oh God.
But I mean, that's why they used to tie
Saved by the Bell.
No, bell. Yeah, Saved by the Bell.
That's why they call it Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Tying strings to people so if they woke up while they were buried, they could ring the bell.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up because what would happen in those things is that their bodies would start to decompose and the gases released and they'd fucking ring those bells.
Oh, God. My friend Cassie said, I'm deathly afraid of a tornado randomly showing up and destroying my home.
You've never seen it miss that house, and come straight after you.
Yeah. My friend Mallory said, wet paper. I'm not scared of it, but I'm severely disgusted by it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like wet socks. I'm disgusted by wet socks.
And that's me with wet bread. Wet bread freaks me out. So, I can't.
Why would bread be wet?
Like when you go to feed ducks, sometimes bread is wet, or like if somebody drops a sandwich on the ground. I'm fucking weird.
Okay, that is, yeah. You lost me there.
And the same person, Mallory, who said wet paper, also said fish, touching them, seeing them. She said touching them. Seeing them in a tank is fine, but do not touch me. Okay.
Oh, I'm a little bit weirder than her.
My friend Fabi said, when I'm driving my car by a railing, I literally picture it veering off and crashing below. Have since I was a child and have never been able to shake the feeling.
Basically the same with me and bridges.
And my friend Megan said that's called the call of the void. I went down that rabbit hole one day. The call of the void.
Oh.
My friend Carrie Lee said...
Carrie Lee Drake?
Yes,
I
Carrie Lee
haven't
Drake.
heard from her.
I know, right? She said revolving doors.
Okay, no.
That's a lot
those
of
can
pressure.
be tricky.
That's a lot of pressure.
You have to 5, 6, 7, 8 in and out of those.
Yes.
Otherwise, you are
get
going to
hit.
get stuck or you're going to get hit.
Do you know what freaks me out more is when they're automatic? Like in New York City, there's a lot of automatic ones, and I'm like, nope, I'm going through this. I will, if there is a revolving door and a side door option, I will always go in the side door.
It's like the world's worst version of double Dutch.
Like, why? Why do you need a revolt? Like, why? Why not have regular doors? What is the purpose? Is
I think it's the
aesthetic?
temperature.
Oh.
Because you control how long the door's never technically open if it's rotating. Maybe. Hey, if you're a door specialist, write in and tell us.
Yes.
HeatherandSteven@gmail.com.
There's not a lot of them in
Another thing to get
Orlando,
into.
though. Toothsome has one.
Do they?
Yep, Toothsome has one. That's the only place I can really think of. So we need to elaborate on this one. My friend said stepping on a storm drain, falling through, and getting a compound fracture in my femur when I land and developing a flesh-eating bacteria, which will leave me in a hospital bed slowly being cut apart until I die.
Let me give you the number to my psychiatrist.
This is my friend who's a mortician, by the way.
Oh, God.
But remember that time we went to Stonewall and met that guy who had all the cuts on his face because he had fell
through.
down a storm drain.
See,
I think about him all the time.
I don't walk on storm drains.
Yeah.
Just in case. I don't know, maybe it is an irrational fear, but I'm more worried about dropping my keys or my phone down
Oh, yeah.
than I am about falling in. And I think that's why I avoid them most. It's because what happens if you drop your keys
Oh,
or
you're
your
fucked.
phone?
You're fucked.
And I've seen videos galore of it.
In Savannah, there's a part, I can't remember what street it is, but the storm drains have like mannequin scenes in them. So you look down and there's like mannequins eating dinner. It's weird. Yeah.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah. Somebody said arachnophobia. My friend Colin said animatronics, which is valid. There are some scary animatronics. My friend Allison said ants.
Like aunts and uncles, or ants is the bug?
Ants is in the bug. Escalators, somebody said.
Okay, I've seen that movie when I was younger.
Yeah.
Where the girl, it was like a horror movie, and she got her necklace stuck, and apparently it was the world's strongest necklace, and she got killed because she had like tripped, and it was like,
Oh, because it didn't break, yeah.
Yeah.
My grandma, her shoe or shoelace or something, my grandma that passed got stuck in an escalator at LaGuardia, and she sued and got a lot of money. My friend, speaking of escalators, have you ever watched I Survived?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the escalator episode?
You're going to be more specific.
So there's an episode about a runaway escalator. It was at some arena or stadium, and the band broke, and it was like and people were like flying, and there was like smoke. Yeah, no, I think about that every time I go to Amway.
I've seen several different videos of things like that.
Every time I go to, because Amway has the biggest escalator I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Wait, I feel
The
like I've been
Kia
somewhere
Center?
else. Oh, yeah, whatever, Kia Center. Every time I'm on the escalator, I'm like, if this fucking band breaks on this
But
thing.
here's the thing is that I've always seen like the memes and the jokes is like, sorry for the inconvenience. These are now stairs. Like, I don't imagine them, like if the band breaks, in my mind,
It
they
stops.
just stay stairs.
No, this thing broke and it's like, or something happened where it sped up. My friend Dustin, this is a valid one. He said Laffy Taffy and Mike and Ike candies. I'm scared that if I eat one, they'll pull all my teeth out in one go when I bite into it.
Okay, no. I have this.
Yeah.
With super chewy candies about pulling out like a filling or
Me
something.
too. That's why it makes me so sad, but I can't do candy apples or caramel apples at the fair anymore.
Oh, God,
and I
no.
love them. I love them, but I can't do it because I have so much fucking I have like thousands of dollars of dental work in my mouth, and I'm not about to fuck that up because I want a candy apple. My girl Melissa said something crawling in my ear and nesting while I sleep.
That's valid.
Very valid. Very valid.
I mean, that's this stuff that we see on TV. So
Yep. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good one. Our friend Jess said, I have a fear of not having a bathroom accessible to me at all times. So no matter where I go, I need to know where all the bathrooms are.
somebody wasn't a Girl Scout.
I'll fucking listen.
Dig that heel into the ground and squat.
I've peed in the street before in my 30s because I was at a wine crawl and had to pee and there was no bathroom. So I popped a squat on a street. I don't care.
That's a whole nother episode.
Oh, this is a good one. My friend Katie said a toilet snake.
Again, that's something that happens in Australia, I think,
See,
on the regular.
I'm more scared of car snake than I am toilet snake. I'm scared of car creatures. Like, I don't want a spider in my car. A friend of mine, a spider crawled on her foot while she was driving. She fucking crashed her car on I-4.
Oh, I would too. There was a time when I was living in Mississippi. I was driving home. It was the middle of the night, and I was in my '97 Kia Sophia,
Yeah.
and I'm going through like our, the little overhead lights on the highway and whatnot,
Yeah.
and I just see this little figure going up the windshield in the back, and then it gets into the thing. I have fully pulled over into a parking lot, and I can't tell you how long I waited.
Marty and I, when we were in our very early 20s, were driving down Kirkman Road, literally right by Universal. We are Kirkman and Vineland almost, because she used to live over there. And I picked her up and we were going out and she just, and I had the window down because my AC wasn't working at the time. And there was a frog on the window in the car and we're like swerving down Kirkman.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's see. My friend Bree said the needle ripping out of my arm/vein while getting blood drawn and bleeding to death.
Don't get blood.
Well, I mean, you got to do blood work. I did blood work on Monday.
Tell them to put you out.
But I told you it's like my irrational kind of fear of the air sucker at the dentist. So it's like you fear, like I'm always scared that it's hooked here and something's gonna happen and it moves into my throat and like
Final Destination.
every
17.
fucking time I go to the dentist, I think about that. Somebody said lizards. I fucking hate them and they paralyze me if they get in the house. That's what cats are for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said balloons.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
No.
Okay, here's one for me.
Yeah.
And this is, I will not hold a large sum of balloons.
Why do you think you're going to float away?
Yes. I've had that fear since I was a kid. Hot air balloons terrify me.
Really?
You could not. No,
I
would
mean,
not
I
even
wouldn't
take my dead body on a hot air
No,
balloon.
I wouldn't go into either. And it's not because of the balloon factor. It's the basket factor. The basket's way too unreliable. Like, why am I going to go up in a fucking basket in the air?
You're going to rely on the balloon and not the basket.
Yeah.
The basket is weaved. The balloon is floating. The fuck?
We have spiders, toads. Our good friend Robin said being on a roller coaster and the lap bar breaking and me flying out and dying. I've had so many dreams about that. So many dreams.
Same.
Yeah. Clowns, sharks in swimming pools, mannequins.
Clowns not so irrational. I'm just gonna stop you right there.
Yeah.
There was a girl in high school that was terrified of clowns, like screaming and running during a Mardi Gras parade. And then she goes, "You don't know what's underneath there." And I was like, "Fuck, you're right, John Wayne Gacy. You don't know who that clown is. You don't know who it is."
Clowns don't. I'm indifferent to clowns. Like I'm not amused by them, but I'm not scared of them. I'm just like, well, they're there.
Clowns never left before.
My friend Taylor said snapping my arm while arm wrestling.
I've seen that.
Yes, I have too. Tripping and hitting my eye on the corner of a desk.
Or anything that's standing out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see here. Driving, no car, no license. Drowning. My irrational fear is
Irrational fear of drowning is not. That's not irrational.
no. That's
that
legit.
happens.
No, my irrational fear is fearing of sharing my irrational fears with everyone.
Who said that?
My friend Lindsley.
Stay up here, bud.
Finding one shoe in the street. I don't know what that means.
Because the other shoe is attached to somebody who's on the hood of a car somewhere? I don't
Maybe
know.
there too. Somebody said slipping in their house and nobody finding them.
Get life alert.
More animatronics. The pool goggles sucking out my eyeballs when I take them off. That's kind of valid.
I've never thought about it. But it goes the same with like sneezing with your eyes open. Are they going to pop out?
I know. And that's another weird thing I have. Like sometimes I have to reach under the bed to like pull mama out, or I keep some of my shoes under the bed. And so I'll get to my elbow part and I'm like, I can't, or my elbow, that's my fucking shoulder. And I'll feel like if I don't move my arm a certain way, I'm going to snap my arm. It's weird. Sharks in the pool. No one can touch my belly button for fear it will unravel and spill my guts out.
Okay. I can give you my number to my psychiatrist as well.
Yeah, right. I just have a couple more. My friend said the Mosasaurus roll on Velocicoaster. The one that goes over the water.
Oh, I do think about every time that happens that I'm just going to fall into the water and be with the fish.
I know, right? Open water again. Mayonnaise. And
So,
yes.
Bobby, dancer Bobby.
Yeah.
Terrified of
Oh,
ketchup.
ketchup. Yes, I remember you telling me that.
Terrified of
Yes.
ketchup.
And so then the last one is our friend CJ said needles and dying and not leaving an impact. So that dying and not, didn't we talk about this yesterday? Maybe.
Maybe.
I definitely talked about it with Jason. And I was saying that when I was younger, I had the same fear. And it was kind of why I wanted to have kids in my 20s. So I'm like, my legacy has to live on. At the ripe old age of 42, I do not give a fuck if I leave a legacy. It's like, if you focus on that, you're going to focus. Yes, we did.
We did talk about it.
We
Yes.
did. And then I talked about it with Jason too.
Yeah.
And to me, if you're living to leave a legacy, you miss everything around you. Like I'm in the phase of my life right now where I want to like take all my moments in.
But here's the thing is that guaranteed most people have already made an impact somewhere. It doesn't mean you have to make a constant
That's
impact.
what I'm saying.
It doesn't mean that you have to be
Yeah.
famous. It doesn't mean you have to have a statue about you. But if you put on one good show, if you
Correct.
create one good event, that's your legacy.
Absolutely.
You've done something good. You taught one student who didn't believe in this up. You done something.
Yeah, it's like when I was a recruiter, all of the intern babies that I've hired, I still see them all the time, and they're like, "Oh my God, you changed my life." I'm like, see, like, there you go. But
you know what I had?
Yeah.
Is I ran into a former student from 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
They found Sarah in a store randomly, and she was like, "Come take ballet class." And they were wearing a mask because they were traveling and were being cautious or whatnot. And it took me a second to realize. And I was like, holy crap. And this person is now non-binary and living their best life. And they said to me, they were like, you were one of the first people that exposed me to queer culture and helped me with my weight. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
what?
and
Me?
and like that's the thing. Like I
taught you tap dancing.
Right? And it's like I don't need like a fucking like museum named after me or anything like that. It's like it's just like what you said. It's making an impact in this lifetime and doing it in small doses where it does affect people like individually or whatnot versus like if I die and in 20 years people don't remember my name, it's fine. Like I'm good with that. Like I'm good. And plus, let's be honest, y'all, the earth is not going to be around. I would say why
You
am I
said
looking at my
200
watch?
years last night.
I did 200 years. The earth is going to fucking implode. So nobody will have legacy. So we're just going to all fucking fight.
Unless
in the
you're
afterlife.
rich enough to live on Mars.
Hey, I don't know. I just watched Martian the other day for like the 16th time. I love that
I've
movie.
never seen it. Is that where he grows potatoes?
Yeah. You've never seen The Martian?
I've seen just a clip here
Oh,
and
it's
there.
so good. It's so good. Matt Damon.
Oh my God.
So that was Irrational Fears.
That was
a good
irrational.
one.
Some not so irrational, some very irrational.
Yeah. I wonder if there's anyone on Earth who's like not scared of anything.
Maybe they're scared of not being scared of things.
Like, what is Barack Obama scared of? Let's ask the internet. Because you know Trump's scared of sharks.
No.
Trump is scared.
All
Trump
of a
is
sudden,
terrified
I
of
want sharks to be my allies.
Yes. What is Barack Obama afraid of? It says here, Barack Obama said that he has an irrational fear of snowmen.
And that's where we're going to leave you today, ladies and gentlemen.
He's afraid of snowmen.
He's never seen the movie Jack Frost. He's never seen it.
Who else? Hold on. Who else, really quick, is a celebrity that we love? Who could we?
Hell if I know.
Okay.
Selena Quintanilla.
She's dead. She's scared of guns.
Ah!
Oh my God. I shouldn't have said, why am I like this? I love you, Selena. Don't haunt me. Anyway, so yes, Barack Obama scares snowmen. But that was Rational Fears. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
If you have a topic idea, find us on the social medias. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Actually, something that I think I might start doing, not for WrestleMania, which is the next big pay-per-view for WWE, or PLE as they call it now. I think I might do a watch along, like, and you could join me if you want. And so we'll just watch, and like people can tune in and stuff. And like you don't have screen on screen because you're not allowed to do that. But we can like make commentary and people can watch along with us.
I am down.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Let's
yeah.
pick a movie. Let's do baddies.
Because oh my God, baddie.
Let's do everything.
We should have done the Academy Awards. I didn't even think about that.
Well, we can do the next awards, whoever those are.
Did you also get secondhand embarrassment when that lady from Amelia Perez started singing?
I did not see that.
Oh my God, it was so. Amelia Perez won for best song, and the lady who wrote the song just started singing on stage, and it was so. It wasn't like a Whitney Houston where you get up or like a Cynthia Erivo. It was so. Like secondhand embarrassment, I hate it. Like you and I have talked about this multiple times.
Cringe.
Secondhand embarrassment, I will have to like. It just makes me uncomfortable. But anyway, watch alongs, good stuff. But find us on social medias.
Yes.
Listen, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, tell your enemies, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
So
like and subscribe. Go
Please.
give us fake reviews of 5 stars on Apple so we can get
Spotify,
monetized.
please,
and,
yes. And we can quit our jobs.
Get cheese plates. Let's
Cheese
get
plate.
maybe a cheese plate.
We can
once
go to the
every 6
Bahamas
months.
and put easy cheese in the water.
Fuck no. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Fucking
Easy cheese.
Cheese.
Alexa, turn on Tabitha.